the video started on its own. But anyway, perfect timing. So today we are going to talk about twin flame telepathy and what it is basically. I've got some questions in front of me that I was asked on my Instagram and by clients. So I'm going to try answer them, and I feel like this is going to be part one of something bigger that's about to come. So feel free to ask more questions if you have them. Okay. So when we try to understand twin flame telepathy, I feel like I'm doing classes here, like a teacher, but I'm really not. But anyway, okay. So first thing we need to understand is different levels of consciousness. Okay, so when we think about consciousness, you would have heard these terms so much in the twin flame realm, the twin flame verse or the twin flame posts, the different posts that we see. The 5D and the 3D. What does it actually mean? I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. Okay, things flying across the sky. But I am going to talk about it because we need to understand what it means to have 5D communication and what it means to have 3D communication. Okay, so I have a little diagram. I was going to find colors, but the video literally started on its own and we're just going to roll with it. So here it is. Okay, very bad diagram, but this is the 3D. Okay, when we look at the 3D, what we find in the 3D is the world around us, the material world around us right now includes, all these difficult emotions like anxiety, fear, everything that you're dealing with right now. This is the 3D world. Like 3D communication is you dropping a call to your twin flame, or you dropping a text to them, you speaking to them face to face on a very conscious level. That is the 3D world. Okay, then comes 4D. We'll talk about it in another video because right now we're going to jump straight to 5D. This is a consciousness. This is not a physical place that you need to go to. We can manifest this. New Earth is coming in, but 5D consciousness means that within your mind, you leave this place of 3D communication, which is governed by anxiety, fear, different things. It's the conscious mind here that is taking you towards the 3D communication, the text and everything. If you're able to talk in 3D with your twin flame and no triggers are coming up, well done, you are in union. You're in permanent union, because if no triggers are coming up, that means you've worked on yourself and you're absolutely fine. So this, if you're not in this situation, if you're in separation, or if you are with your twin flame on a physical level, but you are not able to connect with them on a deeper level, if you're not connecting with them, you don't have an inner union. So there are situations where twin flames live with their partners, or they live across the street from their partners, but they're not able to have, they're not able to get commitment. And in that situation, the twin flame is running away from them, or there's a runner chase the situation going on. That's what's happening here. If you're in the 5D, it means that you're accessing higher consciousness. When you're in a 5D consciousness, you are able to ascend spiritually. You need to raise your vibration basically to come to this consciousness level. Okay, you'll come into this 5D consciousness when you are in a place of you're more still within you. You've done a certain level of inner work, you've shed some baggage, you've shed some limiting beliefs within yourself to reach this 5D state. Here what happens is when triggers come to you, you're like, oh, hey, there you are. What do you have to say? Tell me. You talk to them nicely. You talk to them peacefully. If you're in the 3D state, you get annoyed at yourself. You get annoyed at them, and you're like, oh, why did this happen? But in 5D, you're able to deal with them in a more relaxed way. So that is 5D. And twin flames, at the 3D level, I'm going to draw very bad diagrams, like literally a circle. Okay, that's not even a circle. So this is you, and let's just say this is your twin flame. You have a slightly tall twin flame, and at the 5D level, you are one. Okay, I should have drawn these diagrams before, but anyway, at the 5D level, you are one because you're one at the core. Okay, so this is very specifically for twin flames. No other soul relationship will have this, because twin flames are literally the same soul in two bodies, two vessels. So here, when you're at the 3D level, you can talk, you can communicate through text, you can do all of those things. But in 5D, you can just communicate with your thoughts. Okay, and that is what's happening. When you're connecting to the 5D state, you are having telepathic conversations. That is what telepathy is. We'll talk more about it in detail, but telepathy happens at this level. So if you have a session with me and I'm saying, okay, 3D communication is not working out, what's happening at the 5D level? This is what I'm asking you. How are you feeling? What are your emotions telling you right now? What are your thoughts saying to you right now? What sort of triggers are coming up? How do you communicate to your twin flame in 5D to find out what's going on with them, what's going on with you? And this is why it's so important. So now I'm going to go into the questions. I hope that that was helpful, even if I didn't explain the whole thing in detail right now. But I don't want to spend the whole video talking about that. I want to talk about twin flame telepathy. That's for some other day. Okay. So, twin flame telepathy. What does it mean? Someone asked me, what does twin flame telepathy mean? Does it mean that you keep talking to your twin flame in a positive way, like, I'm still here, I missed you, and don't worry, we're doing okay, I'm doing okay. That is a part of twin flame telepathy. But effectively using twin flame telepathy can be a bit like an equilibrium. It's like having a twin flame is like having half of your soul live in another body. You are here, and no matter where this other person is in the world, you will experience everything. On a physical level, it can literally be like, if they have a really bad headache, you will probably also get a headache. Not all the time, but if they're really struggling, this has happened with a lot of people, and this can happen, is that you will also face some sort of symptoms. It can be to do with a lot of difficult situations. It's basically when they miss you, when they really need comfort. This kind of bell will go off in your mind, and you'll feel like, oh, something's not right. And you may start to feel anxious because they'll be missing you, they'll be thinking about you. But on 3D, they might not reach out. They'll reach out in the 5D realm, which is what telepathy is. So that is, how it can feel like on when there's a physical aspect involved. When there is a mental aspect involved, like if they're worried about something in particular, those triggers can come up in your life as well. Okay, and I think I'm going to do this video in parts, in shorter parts. This is like the introductions. I'm just going to talk about what twin flame telepathy actually means here. So twin flame telepathy here, sorry, I'm just looking for the charger. I should have really prepared for this video. Like I said, my phone just went off on its own, and it was time to record, so I didn't even stop it. And here we are. So, this is not loud. Okay. So what twin flame telepathy means is that on a deeper level, you sort of have the same consciousness, like the core values and everything will be the same, for you and your twin flame. It's like, it's the way I see twin flames in the Akashic records, the way I have seen them. There's like a glowing ball, and I feel like that represents your soul. And out of that glowing ball, there's like a little, there's like, aura, there's like a light coming out of it, and there is a divine masculine and a divine feminine. But that ball is always there. You are tied to that person in a bond of love. Okay? And that's why you can communicate with each other without having to say a lot of words. Twin flame telepathy can also happen on a very physical level, in the way that if you're with them, in front of them, you look into their eyes, or if you don't look into their eyes as well, with their body language, you will be able to tell exactly what they're thinking, exactly how they're feeling. You may actually not use a lot of words sometimes. When you're at a very peaceful stage, you will just be with them, you will just exist. This is that kind of relationship where you don't have to really go out of your way to explain yourself. because they get you. You've been through the same trauma, and not just in one life but in many lifetimes. So that is where the twin flame telepathy comes in. It's thinking in the same way, because you've been through the same things. You're the same soul, you have the same trauma to sort out. So that's where it comes from, basically. um I hope that explains it. I hope that explains what it feels like. So on a physical level, it can be like communicating through your body language, through your eyes, just knowing how that person feels. You can tell if they're happy, sad, feeling, sexual energy or whatever it is that they're feeling. You will be able to tell, you'll be able to sense it very strongly in the room if you're with them in a space, whether it's public or private, does not matter. You'll be able to sense it very strongly, because the energy will multiply. It's like if you're in the same place together, whatever energy you have, happiness or sadness, it will multiply really big, and that is the bit that you have to work on, balancing to come into union. Because when you're in union, if they're sad, you're sad, it's not going to work out. You're going to have to understand how to have that inner dialogue. And that is again where telepathy comes in. So when you're in separation, if you're not, what separation means is that you're not communicating in 3D, you're communicating on a 5D level. When you are communicating on a 5D level, um, a lot of the things going on in both of your lives, you'll be talking to each other about it. you know you'll have certain dialogues in your mind going off, like, if you're having a perfectly normal day, and all of a sudden out of nowhere you feel like you start feeling anxious, or you start getting heart palpitations, or you start feeling like, oh, I'm just really irritated. It could be that your twin flame is feeling that way. Why is it that you are feeling that way? Is it just because you're one soul? Yes, you are one soul, but you're feeling that way because your twin flame is asking you for help energetically. They are asking you to, help you transmute those feelings. They're asking you to help you emotionally regulate themselves. And you might feel like, "Oh, why should I go through it?" Some of you may feel like that, where you're like, his problem or her problem, why can't she sort it out? Why do I have to go through it? I was having a good day. But you also do it to them. So don't forget that everything that you feel, they also feel, on an energetic level every single day, no matter where you guys are. You're basically living the same life, in many ways. It may look very different on the outside. A lot of times people say like, oh, I'm here stressing out and my twin flame's out there partying. um what's happening on the inside is what you know and what your twin flame knows. The world is not going to see that, because you have your telepathic bubble connection here. The world does not have it with you. Unless someone's very deeply psychic, then they will be able to read it. um, or maybe when they're a twin flame coach. But other than that, no, the whole world is not going to know how you feel, but your twin flame is going to know how you feel. And that is what telepathy is. So I feel like this was more like an introduction to telepathy. I could go on talking about it, but I'm going to do it in another video. I hope that this was helpful. I've tried to explain the 3D and the 5D consciousness, and try to explain that it's not a tangible thing, but it's a way to increase your vibration. It's a way to reach a higher consciousness. When you reach a 5D consciousness and you're able to manage your triggers better, you will come into union. Basically, the world, the universe is just waiting for you to. It's rooting for you. Angels, your spirit guides are rooting for you to liberate yourself from this 3D matrix where you feel anxiety, where you feel worried, where you have these questions like, does my twin flame love me? Is he even my twin flame? Is she even my twin flame? What's going on? Those are all 3D worries. When you're in 5D, you will not have a doubt because you are one. And your twin flame is actually guiding you from the 5D realm, from the 5D consciousness level. Like, your twin flame is there. Your twin flame, in a way, people say twin flames don't meet in 3D. They are your spirit guides. It's true in a way. They don't meet in 3D because if you're in 3D, you're living in a state, in a consciousness that is fearful and anxious, and you can't meet your twin flame there. You can see them, but you can't have an inner union. You need to raise your consciousness to a 5D level so that you can meet your twin flame over there. And you can do that while staying on this earth. So, yes, physical and inner union is possible. It does happen. People do come into union. So, please don't doubt that. Your 5D consciousness is very sure of herself, of himself. And it's as you increase your vibration to the 5D level, you also increase your powers to manifest. So all of this is going on in the background of telepathy, and that is why all of this is happening. Telepathy is all about having an inner dialogue with yourself. It's like half of yourself, like your divine feminine side and your divine masculine side, is talking to itself. So that is what it's about. And it happens because both of you have the same trauma to transmute. So this is roughly what telepathy is about. I'm going to end the video here, and the next time I'm going to talk about how you can communicate effectively when you're in separation. So if you're not with your twin flame on a 3D level, if you're not calling or texting right now, and you're feeling emotionally dysregulated, why is that happening? And how can you communicate? How can you work on transmuting your emotions? And how do you understand what your twin flame is going through? How do you understand what you are going through? How do you use that to basically work towards a union state? So that is what I'm going to talk about the next time. Yeah, but also one final note before I close this video: your twin flame telepathy is going to get stronger and stronger as you raise your consciousness level. So the more closer you get to union, the more you're going to feel like your twin flame is literally right next to you. You know, there might be points where you feel like you literally have to sit down and talk to them in the air. So that might happen. Um, it's different with everyone. Sometimes some people are clairaudient, they hear voices, some people have visions. Um, it's all happening because as you work on balancing yourself, your chakras open up, your kundalini energy is rising slowly. Please remember that kundalini awakenings are different to kundalini energy rising, and it's a very different thing. An awakening is, it happens like this. Well, not like this, but it happens. It's a process. It happens at one point. But yeah, understanding your kundalini energy is your life force, and it flows all the way from your root chakra, which is where your reproductive organs are, flows all the way to the top, going to the crown chakra, which is basically here. Your third eye is here. Your third eye is the way, the reason it's called your third eye is because these are two eyes. You see everything in the 3D world. Your third eye shows you everything at a higher consciousness level. You can see anything through your third eye. So the more you work on yourself, the more your vibration increases, the more your third eye opens up. And the more your third eye opens up, you become more awakened. You start seeing the bigger picture in life, spiritually, and even within the matrix. You see that everything is an illusion. And as all of this happens, as your third eye opens up, your telepathic communications become stronger and stronger and stronger. So that is the thing. That's my baby. I'm not going to re-record this video. I'm going to stop this now, and we'll talk next time. If you have any more questions, please drop a message in the comments. I would love to know if you found this useful, so I can know whether I should keep making more. And yeah, my information is in the description box, so please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And my Instagram information is in the box, by the way, in the description box. I do post regular updates for twin flames, so please check them out because I'm doing them particularly for these few months because there's a lot going on. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. Thank you. Bye.